to the grind. Uh, this is no Arkansas boy here, living in Florida. This is unrehearsed and whoop-de-doo, but just trying to help folks out. I'm making this mainly for my son. He's being introduced into the fantastic world of playing lead guitar. I don't know why he's trying to learn anything I know, because I almost don't know anything, but hopefully some folks will get something good out of all this. As you can see here, I'm holding an Ibanez. I call it an Ibanez Strat. It's strung up with nines and the strings are dead and all this, but hopefully you'll get something out of this if you're looking at being able to get on stage with somebody and play along with them. Without further ado, I don't know if I'm tuned to 440 or not, but what I recommend is you learn the chords in music, A through G. Like, there's an A, there's a B. Well, let me get it. There it is. There's a C, a D, a E, and an F chord. Now, there's several ways to make those chords. You might not recognize some of the ways that I made them, but after you learn the basic chords, the next thing I would like to try to get you to do is make those chords as many ways as you can up and down the neck. For example, here's an A chord. And what I do is I teach chords that run. For example, the F chord. Let's take the F chord. Most folks will make it like that. I recommend start off like this because it's a more fuller sound. There's an F sharp. There's a G. There's a G sharp. There's an A sharp or a B flat. And there's a B. And there's a C. And it runs on up the neck. Your fingers never change. You can also do that with a D chord. You take this D right here, and I change it a little bit and put my ring finger right there, and I go D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp to a G, and right on up the neck. Those are chords what I call that run, where you never have to change your fingers. And also the A chord. Some folks make it like that. Some will make it like this. I recommend making it like that. Just bar straight across and put your ring finger right there. They also run. There's an A. There's an A sharp or B flat. Right on up the neck. C. C sharp. D. And it just keeps going, and your left hand never changes. Now, after you've learned those positions, then we'll start creating another position. You take that G chord, for example, and what you do is you get rid of that ring finger. Now you're only playing 3 notes, which 3 notes make a chord. And what you do with that G, you take that 3rd string and raise it up to the dot there. I've just went up a half step. And you drop your ring finger down on the 2nd string. That's a C. There's your C sharp. There's your D. There's your D sharp. And there's your E. And those chords never change. They run up and down the neck. So now you've got like 4 or 5 different ways to make the chord. Now, what you do, for example, is you take an F chord and you bar it like this. You make a bar chord. F, F sharp, and a G, G sharp, A sharp or B flat, to a B, on up to a C, and that runs up and down the neck. Now that you've practiced and you know where all those chords are, it's a mere fact of playing the notes of the chord and connecting them. And one way to connect them, for example, I'm going to use a G here, is an old, what I call a bass guitar boogie lick. It's now, with that, if you got that down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this chord, I'm working out of this one, and I'm going to go to the D position down here with the G. See? And how I'm going to connect those two is I'm going to use that bass. Once again. Now, once you get down there, there's little things that you can do too. For example, anytime you learn a lick on a guitar, piano, it doesn't matter what instrument, always learn to play it backwards too. For example, here is basically the forward position. Okay, now then you can change the right hand and add what I call a popping, or you're actually digging into the string with your right hand, and you change the sound of that. See, I just added a little bend there. Delay and all this, but the programs that you use, we'll get into that later. But just learn how to connect those different chords, see? Now, once I'm there, I can go to that other position, which is that one right there that I showed you. And so now I'm really doing some movement down the neck. Here we go. Now see, that's the D position. I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to wind up with that other position down here, which is G also. So here we go. See, that's how you do it. And there's another little thing that you can do, to just pile it all together and keep playing. My philosophy is, if you're not moving, you're not playing. For example, this right here, yes, you're playing all right. But that's rhythm. And if you want to play lead, you got to move. And that's how you do it. Make that chord. Now, like I said, there's another little thing that you can tag on to the end of that, which is out of that A position that I showed you. A sharp, B, C, and I'm going to get to it, and it'll be right there, way down the neck, like that right there. Now watch how I tie 1, 2, 3, and 4 different G's together. Now I apologize for some of these notes and the way it sounds and all this, but if you look right there on my hand on 16 May, I broke my hand, and I'm just now getting the use of it again, and I'm not used to 9-gauge strings. But I don't need to apologize for my poor picking. But anyway, that's that's the basics of it in a nutshell. Is getting know that that's a G. Know that's a G. Know that's a G. And know that's a G. And once you got those to where you can readily get to them, well then it's just a matter of tying them together. And there's many things that you can do out of that A chord. For example, the Lynyrd Skynyrd, he plays a song that out of the A position is where they generically kicked it off, and it uses D. It's in the key of D, so it goes. Now see, that was from a D to an A, but it was another one of those positions that I never changed the fingering on my left hand. I'm just using my right hand to pick those strings and get that sound. Now, if you want to move up into the effects category of it, you can put a little distortion on it, and it'll come out sounding more like the boys on Lynyrd Skynyrd played it. For example. Just two chords and moving around those chord positions. And then to continue on with that song, if you wanted to learn some more of it, once again you come back down where you started in that D position and you go.